Congratulations for being selected to be part of the University of Central Asia's mentorship program. This is the first mentorship program launched by the University of Central Asia, involving mentees from Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and Tajikistan, working with mentors from Canada, the US, and the UK. This program is very, very exciting for the University of Central Asia and equally exciting for the students in the region that you will be helping. By now, you've had an opportunity to look at the University of Central Asia's mentorship manual. This manual guides you through the number of conversations that we hope that you'll have the time to have with the various mentees that will be allocated to you. The matching process will begin soon, and we will match every mentor with a mentee, and you will be informed via email around who your mentee is. This video will guide you through this mentorship manual by providing you information from a variety of different people who've lived in Central Asia, who've worked in Central Asia, and who have a very intimate understanding of students like your mentors. Because I think that's probably one of your biggest questions. It would certainly be one of mine. And that is, who am I going to be mentoring? What are these kids going to be like? What are the issues these kids face? The mentorship manual has been specifically designed with you in mind, with some of the questions I've spoken to you in mind, as well as giving you background on the students that you'll be mentoring. I think it's really important that you read through the mentorship manual as you watch this video, but I also think it's equally important that a couple of days before your conversation is being scheduled with your mentee, that you go over the section that will apply to that day's conversation. Learning about a new country, learning about a new culture is not something that you can easily do by watching a video or simply reading through a manual once. But what we've tried to do is provide you with a great deal of information around each of the conversations that you'll be having. So I encourage you to carefully read through this manual today, tomorrow, but also a few days before each of your conversations. Let me begin by giving you a bit of background on the University of Central Asia. In the year 2000, the presidents of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan realized together that Central Asia needed a world-class university, that Central Asian young people needed the opportunity to be able to attend a world-class university without having to leave the region. They signed an agreement with the Aga Khan to build a world-class university, not only in Tajikistan, but also in Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan. The University of Central Asia will open its doors to its undergraduate program in September 2016 in Kyrgyzstan, in a place called Narin, in 2017 in Korog, and that will be in Tajikistan, and in 2019 in a place called Tekeli, that's going to be in Kazakhstan. You might ask yourself that you've never heard of places like Tekeli or Narin or Korog. You may have heard of other places like Dushanbe in Tajikistan, or Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan, or Astana or Almaty in Kazakhstan. So where are these university campuses, and where is the University of Central Asia? When the Aga Khan Development Network thought about bringing world-class education to this part of the world, it was important to understand that where do the people in this part of the world live? They don't live in the big cities. 35% of Central Asians live in the big cities. 65% of Central Asians live in mountainous regions. In fact, if you look at a country like Tajikistan, it is 97% covered with mountains. If you look at a place like Kyrgyzstan, it's covered in mountains by about 95%. Now, many of you might know that Kazakhstan is not a mountainous region, and that's true. Kazakhstan is like the prairies in Canada. It's very flat, except that when you look at where the most poorest population lives in Kazakhstan, they don't live in those prairies. They live at the base of the mountains in Kazakhstan. This university, for it to bring world-class education to the people of Central Asia, those people live in mountain-based regions. And that's why the University of Central Asia is committed to mountain-based studies. Now, that doesn't mean that all of the courses are about mountain-based studies. What it means is that courses or programs like computer science, communications and media, earth and environmental science, economics, business and engineering, many of those courses will take into account that these kids will graduate working in areas that are geographically difficult, that are covered with mountains. And that has implications in all of the disciplines that I just mentioned to you. There are a number of respectable universities in the region. The University of Central Asia is different, not only because its mission, which is committed to the development of mountain-based societies, makes it different, but we're also committed to some of the key tenets of excellence. I'll give you an example. If you look at universities in Central Asia, almost none of them have more than 2 or 3 faculty who have PhDs working in those universities. UCA, the University of Central Asia, 90% of our faculty will have PhDs. Another key difference with the University of Central Asia is that we're a 5-year degree program. Most university programs are 4 years. The reason we're a 5-year degree program is because Central Asians, the ones you will talk to, you will notice will be in grade 11. They don't have access to grade 12. You can't expose students to a world-class 4-year university education if they don't have grade 12. And we're one of the only universities in the region that requires our students to go through a preparatory program, allowing them to be at the level you were at when you started university. Another key differentiator is the disciplines that we have chosen and designed for our students have been chosen not randomly or not by copying what's offered in the West. They've been chosen specifically for the development needs of the region. We know very certainly that computer science, communications and media, economics, earth and environmental science, business and engineering are careers that students will pursue today, and those careers will lead to jobs. But we also know that 25 years from now, these careers in these disciplines will also be in high demand. Another area that differentiates us is our university programs are all cooperative education programs. And so for every summer where you might have to go out and look for your own job, at the University of Central Asia, our students are placed in cooperative placements with companies and organizations in their field of study. And so by the time they graduate with their 5-year degree, they've had close to 8 to 9 months of experience because of our summer placement programs. Another key differentiator is faculty. Not just that they have PhDs, but the faculty at the institutions you go to today, they're ranked on 3 elements: service, teaching, and research. So your faculty member in your university has to be a good teacher, has to be a good researcher, and has to be committed to service. And what that means is service to the institution. They sit on a variety of committees at the university or at the program that they're in. They also work with other publications and journals to serve as reviewers. At the University of Central Asia, those 3 elements will be crucial for our faculty, but we've added a 4th element, and that is student-faculty mentorship. 8 hours a week, our faculty will spend in mentoring students on a one-on-one basis. We feel that this relationship between the faculty member and the student is a sacred one, and one that's extremely important for developing students in terms of their education. And so for us, faculty are ranked on 4 dimensions. No other university in the world does this. Finally, our students will be job ready. And what that means is, in addition to the cooperative education terms that they will have, the other thing they will be able to do is they will participate in 3 capstone projects that cut through their 5-year degree program. One is an entrepreneurship project where they'll start an organization or a company. A second one is a consulting-based project where they'll help an existing organization or a company deal with a particular challenge. And thirdly is a case writing project, and that is they'll work with an individual faculty member to write a case specific to their discipline that will then be used to teach in the various classes that are offered within that discipline. Finally, our students will be job ready. And what that means is, in addition to the cooperative education terms that they will have, the other thing they will be able to do is they will participate in 3 capstone projects that cut through their 5-year degree program. One is an entrepreneurship project where they'll start an organization or a company. A second one is a consulting-based project where they'll help an existing organization or a company deal with a particular challenge. And thirdly is a case writing project, and that is they'll work with an individual faculty member to write a case specific to their discipline that will then be used to teach in the various classes that are offered within that discipline. I want to talk to you now a little bit about the objectives of the mentorship program at the University of Central Asia. I've already spoken about the fact that very few of these kids have access to good quality guidance. Getting them good quality guidance is by far the most important objective of the mentorship program. But there are other challenges these students face. One key challenge is that students are very familiar with a transactional relationship with the university. What does that mean? That means they come to the university, they take a class, and they leave. University life, the importance of residential life, is something students don't understand. At the University of Central Asia, our campus life will be residential. Students will live on campus 8 months a year. Students have very poor test-taking or study skills. They understand how to take multiple choice tests, but when it comes to other forms of test-taking, or when it comes to studying for short answers, or when it comes to reflecting on one's material to be able to write an essay in an exam or a test, these are things they're unfamiliar with. Other challenges that these students face is that they don't know how long to study, what to study, how to make the decision on where to focus their time when they're completing homework or when they're completing a study task. So let's start by talking about some of the goals of the mentorship program. First, it's to inform students, to let them know, how do you select a high-quality university? What does a high-quality university education look like? What are some of the key characteristics that education has? We're hoping that by interacting with mentors, you will equip mentees with being able to answer this key question. Another one is, what is the optimal process to take notes, to read a textbook, to study for an exam based on those notes and those textbooks? Study skills are another key area that we hope that mentors will be able to help mentees with. Career planning, career advice, exposing them to various careers around the world, and helping them share with you what are some of the key careers that are booming in Central Asia, and how can they prepare for those careers, or how can they learn more about those careers. Career planning is another area that we hope mentors will help mentees with in the program. Another key area that we hope mentors will help mentees with is academic planning. What goes into deciding which undergraduate degree you should pursue? What happens after you finish your undergraduate degree? What does it mean to get a master's degree? What does a dual degree mean? What are some of the opportunities academically that you need to prepare for in your undergrad so that when you graduate, you have academic opportunities? So developing an academic plan is another area we hope mentors will help mentees with.
So what makes a good mentor? Think about a professor, your parents, siblings, a teacher, camp counselor, guidance counselor. What were some of the attributes that they had that made them good mentors? Were they passionate? Were they compassionate? Were they accountable, patient, honest, openly communicating with you? Were they open to collaboration, open to new challenges and ideas? What was it about them that made them memorable to you? For us, when we were hiring our counselor team for this year's UCA summer camp, which was geared towards math and English upgrading. We wanted to ensure our counselor team could work together as a team, but also had the skill set to create the best possible platform for our participants. That meant having a command of language that they could kind of work around to ensure that their audience understood what they were trying to get through, being able to work within a team dynamic and share best practices with one another, especially since our team was made up of local and international counselors, and many of our international counselors had not had previous experience working within Central Asia or within a Central Asian context. So it was integral that a lot of the mentioned attributes were present so that our participants could get the best possible mentors available to them. Some of your responsibilities as a UCA mentor would include participating in 6 Skype calls between January and April, each call consisting of 60 minutes each. The second thing is that each of your 60-minute phone calls would be split up into 2 parts. The first 30 minutes would be you, the mentor, talking about UCA-specific content that will be driven by you, that needs to be delivered by you, and is available on the training manual for you to access. And the second half of your mentor-mentee call will be driven by your mentee to answer any relevant questions that they may have, and to ensure that they have a great soundboard with you as the mentor. You will be required to fill out a total of 6 short forms at the conclusion of each session, answering relevant questions about how effective your Skype session was between yourself and your mentee. At the conclusion of the program, we will ask you to fill out an extensive form on the experience of the mentor-mentee relationship. And this is to just kind of help guide the program and to help with succession planning and make it a bit more seamless and fluid for future mentors who are coming in. You will also be required to participate in a training video. It will be accessible to you online. Prior to having your first call with your mentee, you will be asked to complete a short test that is UCA related to test your knowledge on UCA, Central Asia, and mentoring. There will also be a Facebook group created that will include all mentors, liaisons, and leads to provide a platform for you as the mentors to ask any program-related questions. For the interest of privacy, the Facebook group is exclusively for mentors, and mentees are not included in that group. Ensure to familiarize yourself with all the required reading, which appears throughout the manual. These will provide you information on UCA's programs, as well as a Central Asian context within a cultural, educational, geographic, and labor market context. Your responsibilities as a UCA mentor do not include revealing personal information about yourself, more so than you feel comfortable doing, writing their applications and essays for them. Remember, as a mentor, you are there to guide them and help create their roadmap, not walk it for them. The third is not giving up on your mentee. Your mentee might resist at first, but remember, persistence up until a certain point can work in your favor, and eventually your mentee will become a lot more open to you. The fourth is forcing your mentee to follow in your footsteps. Remember, you are there to guide them on what their vision is. If they choose to follow in your footsteps voluntarily, then great, and if not, you are still there to help serve as a soundboard for any questions they might have. And last but not least, try your best not to have a preconceived notion of what your relationship will be like with your mentee. Go in being open and well aware of what your responsibilities are, and everything will work out the way it should. Congratulations.
Communication etiquette. During the 4 months of mentorship, regular, open, and timely communication between you and your mentee is essential for a successful partnership. You must be professional at all times in order to keep the partnership respectful and beneficial to both the mentor and the mentee. As the mentor, you can lead by example and impress upon your mentee the value of professional communication in school and the workplace. It is important to recognize that this mentorship program may be the first time that your mentee has been in a professional partnership. Your mentee may not be as well accustomed to appropriate communication etiquette as you. The following are guidelines for professional communication etiquette for mentees.
Developing active listening skills. When you talk to your mentee, remember to have realistic goals and expectations and make sure they are clearly set between yourself and the mentee. Guide the conversation in the direction that you planned. Getting too far off topic is not acceptable since achieving your goal for that session is important both for the mentor and the mentee. Make eye contact. Clear your mind of extraneous thoughts. Concentrate on what your mentee is saying. Demonstrate to them that you are actively listening. Be aware of your body language and facial expressions. Learn to recognize your mentee's facial expressions and gestures. Understand what they mean. Understand that English is the second language of most of the mentees. It is important to paraphrase what they have just said to ensure you have clearly understood. Ask them to clarify points if you don't understand what they said. Put aside your preconceived ideas. Remember to make them appreciate their life and their surroundings. When you talk to your mentee, remember not to sound patronizing by belittling their feelings intentionally or not. Respect all their ideas and hear them out fully before adding your input. Slouch, look distracted or bored. Drum your fingers on the table, indicating that this conversation couldn't end fast enough for you. Be judgmental or challenge their feelings. Do not put them on the spot. Remember, a mentor is a facilitator and is understanding at all times. Interrupt when they are speaking. Let them feel free to speak their mind at ease. Check your cell phone often or surf the internet during the conversation.